Okay, so we're looking at decimals then. So the four operations, okay, adding, subtracting, multiplying and dividing. So when we're adding decimals, let's have a question like 0.4 and 0.72. Okay, now some people think I'll put the biggest one on top. You can do if you want to, you don't have to. You could just put them in order, but use the column method though. Okay, the old-fashioned thing when you're in year 7, so one number in each square, make things a little bit easier for place value. But use that decimal point as like the backbone. Okay, they have to be in line. That helps with place value. So then if I had 0.4 and 0.72, you can see I've got my decimal points in line. Now that makes a huge difference because they're all now in columns. But you'll also notice that I've got this gap here. Biggest tip with decimals, always put a 0 in as a place value holder. Okay, now it seems to line up a lot better. We can use that to help us now. So I've got 0, add 2 is 2, 4 plus 7 is 11, so 1 down, carry the 10 over, and then 0, add 1 is 1. So therefore, 0.4 add 0.72 is 1.12. So decimal points, start on the right, obviously going over to the left, and then making sure you put a 0 in as a place value holder. So how about then, if I had some numbers with more digits, 0.325 and 0.68. Use a column method again, 0.325 and 0.68. I've got a gap, place value holder. Equal sign, we're going to be adding these. So start on the right hand side, 5 add 0 is 5, 2 add 8 is 10, so 0 down, carry the 10 over, 3 and 6 is 9, add the 1 is 10, 0 down, carry the 1, decimal points all in line, 0 add 1 is 1. Therefore, 0.325 add 0.68, 1.005. That's adding. Subtracting. Let's have 3.76 take away 1.87. Okay, looks like money now. So we'll use that as a bit of advantage to us. We can see it happening in everyday life. Numeracy questions. You can imagine now I've got £3.76. I spend £1.87. How much do I have left? Those sort of questions. So 3.76, subtract 1.87. You'll notice though, I did it in that order. The first number goes on top. Okay, 6 take away 7. If I've got 6, I can't take away 7. Therefore, I have to borrow from next door. Now, I see it all the time. People seem to go, oh, I'll do 7 take away 6. That's easy, I can do that. However, subtraction, top, take away bottom, every single time. 6 take away 7, we can't do it. Therefore, I'm going to tap next door, I'm going to borrow 1 from there, so now that 7 becomes a 6. As I've borrowed the 10 over to 6, I've now got 16. 16 take away 7 is 9. 6 take away 8, I can't do it. Let's go next door and borrow a 10 to make it 16. 16 take away 8 is 8. Decimal point in line. 2 take away 1 is 1. 1.89, or if it was money, £1.89. So first number on top, second number on bottom. Use your decimal points as like a point of reference, like I think of it as a backbone. They all have to be in line. If there are any gaps, use a place value holder. So if I had 0.7 subtract 0.325, I know we have 3 decimal places here and only 1, but we can still subtract because 0.7 is bigger than 0.325. Column method, 0.7, 0.325. Decimal points in line, place value holders. Right. Now, 0 take away 5, I can't do it. Now, I know you're tempted to put 5 there, because 5 take away 0 is 5, and 2 take away 0 is 2, but we can't. Can't borrow from next door there, but we can borrow from there. That number then, that 10, jumps over to that this column here. Don't seem to jump over 2 columns, one at a time. I've now got 10. Borrow 1 from there to make it 9, which makes our final column to have 10. 10 take away 5 is 5. 9 take away 2 is 7. 6 take away 3 is 3. So 0.7 take away 0.325, 0.75. Remember your place value holders and borrow if needed. Multiplication. 0.2 times 0.3. Have a guess. No, it's not 0.6. If I had 10 pence for every time I saw that answer, I would be a millionaire. However, the 6 is correct. That is right. However, we now need to count our decimal places. I've got 1 here, I've got 1 here. Therefore, my answer has to have 2 decimal places. But I know I've only got 1 6. However, if I've now got 2 decimal places in my answer, that means I have to have 0.06. 1 decimal place, 1 decimal place, 2 in my answer. So my biggest tip for multiplying would be count decimal places. And then I'll even put a cloud on it as well. And that works every single time. Even if I had 2 times 0.6, 2 times 6 is 12. We know 12 has to be there somewhere. But not just 12, 1 and a 2 have to be there somewhere. No decimal places here, but I do have 1 there. That means my answer has to have 1 decimal place, which makes the decimal point go in the middle there to have 1.2. If I had 0.07 times 0.4, look at the digits, 7 times 4 is 28. I've got 1, 2, 3 decimal places. I've only got 2 numbers, that means there must be a 0 before. So it's 0.028. 3 decimal places, because I have 3 in the question. Nice easy rule for you, easy to remember, and it works every single time. But you'll notice times table knowledge really does help. So bear that in mind when it comes to multiplying. Last one, dividing. Let's have a look at 0.36 divided by 0.9. This one here now is the most important part of dividing. Dividing by a decimal is difficult, very difficult. However, all we've got to do is make that a whole number and things are a lot easier, because dividing by a whole number is a lot easier and we can do it in our heads. To make this a whole number, I need to times it by 10. And by timesing it by 10, that then makes that number 9, which is nice and easy. We can divide things by 9. However, if I've made this 10 times bigger, I've got to make this 10 times bigger. Because that way, my answer will be the same. So 0.36 times 10 would be 3.6. Now, that's a lot easier, because I can see here, but 3 and a 6, 36 divided by 9 is 4. And now look at my decimal places. Well, 3.6 divided by 9 can't be 4. However, it is 0.4. So be careful, you have to make sure you're multiplying by the same amount, because if I had, let's say, 10 divided by 2, we know the answer is 5. Okay, half of 10 is 5. If I made this 10 times bigger, I would have 100 divided by 20. Well, 100 divided by 20 is 5, because 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. If I made these 10 times bigger again, I would have 1,000 divided by 200. Again, makes it 5, because I've got 200, 400, 600, 800, 1,000. So as long as I do the same to both numbers, as in powers of 10 by multiplying, then my answer will still be the same. Don't get caught into that trap of going, well, I've times this by 10, that means I've got to divide that by 10. No. As long as you do the same to both, the answer will always be the same. So bear that in mind. If I had, let's say, 0.49 divided by 0.7. This one's the most important one. Let's times that by 10 to make it a whole number. So that's 7. Let's times this by 10 to make 4.9. 4.9 divided by 7, or 49 divided by 7 is 7. Be careful with the decimals. Now, just to check, I could do the inverse operation by going backwards. 0.7 multiplied by 7, is it 4.9? Yes, it is. 7 sevens are 49, 1 decimal place. Remember, inverse to check. Adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing decimals. Write some notes. Hopefully that helps.